back. But if you listen, you can hear Gracie at the door. I saw it in the porch today and evidence of it in the porch today. And so I took, when you get to the bottom of the Just Peanuts peanut jar, peanut butter jar, and it's really stiff. So I just made a ball of peanut butter, dropped it in the trap. Hang on a second here, folks. So, shall we go find out? I'm going to put my hand over the camera so that I don't make you seasick. Okay? Yes, I'm still in a flare, guys. I can barely walk. Oh. Gracie, get down. Get down. Get down. No. 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 Back up. No, Gracie. Now, how am I? This is my dilemma, folks. This is my dilemma. This is my dilemma. I can't put her out to go pee while that squirrel is in that cage. That's why I let it go yesterday. So, I will be right back, folks. I got to put my dog outside. I'll be right back. Gracie, no! No, no! Get down! Get down, Pop! Damn it, Gracie! Get over here! No! Gracie! God, help me! Cheese and crackers! You trying to scare it to death? Get out! Good. Help me. Go pee! Go on. Go pee me. She just trashed my porch. Oh. Now. Look what he did. Do you understand the predicament you're in, mister? Or Mrs.? You're staying in this cage until Howie comes home and transports you. Here's your little peanut butter ball to sustain you. All right, folks, I got to put you down again because I got to bring Gracie in. Well, maybe there's a way we can do this. I don't know if you guys can see or not. Gracie, look at the mess you've made. Now come here. No. Get down. Get down! Get! Jeez, get in the house! You have no idea how compassionate I am. But you are going for a drive, my friend. All right, folks. Let's get back into the office. I'm going to cover this so you don't get seasick. Gracie, get down. Get down. God, help me. Oh, God, help me. Putting a towel over the cage. putting a towel over the cage isn't going to stop Gracie from knowing it's there. That's her nose. You know what I mean? Oh. All right, let me pop out the chat. This is going to have to suffice for your Friday. What's today? Friday. Today's Thursday, right? I know. It just happens to have to happen when I'm in the middle of a fibro flare, right? So let me say hi. I'm on Top Chat. So let's pop out the participants and say hi. Angela M. Angela Bassmore. Celeste Audio. Oh. Okay, let me do this. I'm still in a flare, guys. Okay, Angela M. Dana Baker. D. O'Neill. Doris. Hi, Doris. International Cat. Jenna Winkleman, Joan Bogart, just for your FYI. Lori Cook, Mary Lindsay, hi, darling. Our bucket list has holes. I know. Raph, hello, darling. Pastel Moon, Rita Mestin, Sandy Brown, Sherry Leach, Thread Lover Tea, and Willow's Garden. Hi, guys. So, I have... Did you see the person who made the comment about my fugly cake? It was bloody delicious. I only had a tiny, and I mean a sliver. Like it was 2 inches by 2 inches and only like a ½ inch thick, because in a fibro flare, sugar and I are not friends. So Celeste, thank you. Hey, 4-day homestead. It's Anna from Wisconsin. Enter in for lit 789 cat. I just call you International Cat. Close enough, right? Well, I mean, they said, for all the beautiful things you do, and you couldn't make your husband a decent cake. A, fibro flare. B, fibro fog. C, I mean, all you had to do was look at all the corrections I had to make in the things I was saying during the video to know that I was in a fibro flare, right? The Isle of Arran, Scotland. Thank you, Veronica. Now, the Isle of Arran, where is that? Is that anywhere near the Shetlands? Or I guess they all have their own, right? There's so many islands outside of Scotland, eh? Cake looked perfect to me, and that dinner, it was delicious. It was delicious. What the cake looked like, that's what Howie said. That's what Howie said. Then he reminded me, he said, remember how pretty your stevia cake was and how everybody spit it back onto their plate? Aran, not Iran. Aran. The Isle of Aran. Okay. Thank you. My, I don't always know the pronunciations of things. Somebody actually got really pissed at me on the Little House on the Prairie readings because I keep calling Almanzo Almanzo. His name is Almanzo. No, it's not. It's Almanzo. Like, it's Almanzo. Remember, his name is Manly. No, but the full name is Almanzo. It's like, okay. No, off the West Coast, lower down from Shetland. I watched that whole series, Shetland, and I thought, there's such desolation. I mean, can you even grow shit there for your garden? Can you? Because, like, you got to put everything under plastic tunnels or... Oh, thank you, bucket list. You know what's on my bucket list? And I've written and done it twice now. My bucket list is to be interviewed on video by Joe Rogan. Like, just ask me anything, Joe. I'll spill my guts to you. Look at my Rumble channels, Joe. Look at my Our Half Acre Homestead, okay? And Life with the Wolfies. And just talk to me, Joe. Just talk to me. Hey, Matthew. Hi, LM. How's it going? Ellie, how's it going? Yeah, it's going to have to stay there. Hey, Teresa Chicoine from Winterpeg. Um, that's why I don't read comments. Some comments are so critical. Well, I know. Could you imagine this? I watched him get out of Mark Zuckerberg that Mark Zuckerberg allowed the FBI to tell him what to censor. And that's how laid back Joe is. But I mean, I'm not just a fan. I feel like Joe's family. He's kind of almost up there with John Candy. You know what I mean? In the family feels. And because I remember watching him on Fear Factor and going, God, he reminds me of my brother Bill when he was young, right? And then I just started watching him on podcasts and stuff, and he's brilliant. I mean, he makes you feel so comfortable. How long till Howie gets home? About 3.5 hours. Why? Karen's and Kevin's. I know it's okay. You know what though? That's me being judgmental. That's me being judgmental. Like if I take like that person who said, God, all the beautiful things you make, you couldn't even make your husband a decent cake. And I went, obviously, and this is my honest reaction today. Honestly, I don't think you know anything about fibromyalgia. That's all I said. And then I blocked them because I saw this thing on Facebook, and some of you may have seen it, and I posted it on Gab, is at this point in my life, my peace and my serenity and mean more to me, because if without those things, without my peace and my serenity and my contentment, I can't make it through from fibro flare to fibro flare, let alone through one. So I don't let anything threaten my peace anymore. I don't know, Lori, if I ever get joint pain from fibro, because I'm always in joint pain. I'm always in joint pain. And my lower left pelvic area was giving me shooting pains yesterday, and that's never a good sign because considering I don't have any ovaries. So would the squirrel need water? Though I don't know how you would get some in the cage. Doris, the squirrel will be fine for a few hours. Trust me. I can't even lean on it. The last hurt to touch. Sound is it like behind? Is it right here? In here? Does it hurt to straighten it? That's what I'm not a doctor. I just have a lot of pain experience. What test do you get for fibromyalgia? Well, they used to sit you down and do your pressure points. And so when I went to see the pain specialist before I reacted to the synthetic THC pill and ended up on marijuana. But the last pain specialist I saw before that, who gave me the THC pill, he did the test. And I said, yeah, okay. I said, I took some Tylenol before I came. And he goes, yeah. And I said, well, because, you're going to do pressure points. Because he said, he said, I think you got fibro. And he said, I said, you're going to do pressure points. And he said, no, we don't do that anymore. Why don't they do it anymore? Because it throws people into flares, and some people are getting in accidents on the way home. So he went through a great big long list of asking me things. And then he made me stand up and put my hands down at my side and slide my hand down towards my knee like that. And he said, and I said, wait a minute, because my sister taught me something. Okay, just because there's pain, it doesn't mean we're supposed to push through it. So so the doctor said, just, go until you can't go any further. And I went, wait a second. Do you mean go until I can't go any further or go until I'm in pain? He said, oh, go until you feel pain. And I said, and so I did. Right. And so everything he asked me to do from that point on was go until you feel pain. Right. Because me being the stubborn ox that I've been most of my life, I had 6 hernias around my belly button, every one of them incarcerated, and I'm outside filling 5-gallon pails of sand to level our pool back in the day, right? Just put on a girdle and a tight pair of jeans and get to work. So, no, just if you lean on it. I don't know. I think you should talk to your doctor, Lori. So I always thought you had to push through the pain. And that's when I made the correlation in my head at the pain doctors. Do you want me to stop when I can't go any further, or do you want me to stop when I'm in pain? He said, always stop when you're in pain. And so the whole exam was like 35, 40 minutes long, which is rare because 10, 15 minutes is max these days. And he said, you are classic fibromyalgia. He said, you are just bang on. Everything, you've got the full-on fibromyalgia. And I said, oh, okay, what do we do now? And he gave me the THC pill. I reacted to it, and then I went to another pain specialist. My doctor did the 13 out of 15. There's more than 15 trigger points, honey. The reason they don't necessarily go on those anymore is because there's more than they know anywhere. Let me put it to you this way. Don't ever walk up to somebody and go, hey, you, and poke them. Because if that person has fibromyalgia, you could throw them into a seizure. And a whole lot is question and certain movements until you feel pain. Yeah, that's exactly, they wouldn't do. I will never go to the doctor, but I will make an appointment if it doesn't get better. You're welcome, sweetheart. So, well, I couldn't take the THC synthetic. I can take it natural. I'm not good with synthetics. See, I'm not just drug sensitive with allergies to opioids and anti-inflammatories and Valium and Librium and certain antidepressants, and you know what I mean? The last painkiller they took me off was I can't remember what it was called, but I'm not just allergic and sensitive to drugs. I'm also resistant, which can be really dangerous because one minute you're taking a drug that works, the next minute you have a reaction to it. One minute you're taking pills that work, and the next minute they don't work anymore, or they don't work at all ever. So it's not just, and some pills don't work to their full effect on me. So I'm not just drug resistant or drug sensitive and drug allergic. I'm drug resistant as well. The body keeps score. Yeah, I know exactly. My body, like I've had like 11 surgeries. So my body's like, okay, that is enough opiates for the rest of your life, kind of thing, right? So, lupus. Yes, I keep going. Brainwashed as a child to work through the pain. Yeah. Lupus, maybe. I've never been tested. I'm at the point where what's the point, right? I'm not going to let them put me on any more medications. I'm on a muscle relaxer. Oh, I have to remind Howie to pick up my pills. I'm on a muscle relaxer. Lorazepam at night for my insomnia, and Luvox for my mood meds, right? So those are the only things. And like I said the other day, the doctor's like, we want to put you on, diabetes meds preventatively. I said, if it's preventatively, that means I haven't got it yet. So the answer is no. And the same thing with, we want to put you on cholesterol meds. It's not really bad, but we'd like to, look after it now. No, thank you. If it's not, in crisis mode, then no, I'm not doing it. Period. Although I don't think I would want to jump into a pool of ice water. Ooh, no. I thought about doing the polar plunge with Howie. Well, marijuana and muscle relaxers help. But when the pain gets really, really bad, you see, I'm in a fog. There's not much I can take other than Robaxacet, which is extra strength Tylenol with a muscle relaxer in it, and then smoke. Right? If the pain gets any worse than that, like that can't handle, then I'm in really bad shape. But right now, I'm moving, right? But I really haven't done anything. I still have to unload and load the dishwasher. I still have to put supper on and all that stuff. You haven't cried on here in a long time. You must be doing pretty good with your moods, at least. Well, that comes, thank you, Jenna. That comes from being more grounded and centered. Remember what I said about the things I do? I do every choice I make in my life centers around how it's going to affect me mentally, emotionally, and spiritually and physically. So every decision I make, whether it's to go to a wedding in the family or to whether or not I should unload and load the dishwasher right now, everything is affected over if I do that, how am I going to feel afterwards? Ice water, not for fibro. If I went into a polar plunge, like that's the one thing the pain doctor said never do, never ever ever do. So, the ever changing weather, yeah, it's been a rough winter, and I think we're tapping trees this weekend, Ange. It's been, and now it's like melt and freeze, melt and freeze, melt and freeze. You know what I mean? And I'm dealing with a squirrel in the house. Well, it's not in the house, it's in the porch, right? Like the last time it was in the cage, I caught it in the house and then I took it out the porch and did the little thing. But Maine here is snow and irregular temps bother pain some. Yeah, it's because it goes from cold to damp to cold to damp, from damp to cold. You know what I mean? And it's the damp is worse. If it was just solid cold, it'd be fine, but we're coming on spring. Hey Dallas Molly. I'm on your side. I'm going through a flare up now and do gummies and Tylenol and nothing seems to work. Please don't overdo it. There's nothing I can do. I'm just sitting here, right? I baited a trap. I got half a supper in the crock pot. You know what it is? I told Howie. Those meatballs I made, I don't like them in spaghetti because they taste like meatloaf in spaghetti, which is fine, but it's not what you expect a meatball to make. So I'm using the meatballs every couple of weeks. I throw them in the crock pot. Like today, I've thrown in meatballs, an onion, a jar of celery, and a can of mushroom soup, and some peppers. And then I'm just going to serve that over linguine or something. So, going to a tree tapping this weekend in southern Indiana. So excited, assisting in making syrup and big pancake meal. Oh, that's awesome. I got to make pancake mix. I was going to do a video, and I think I'll do it tomorrow and give it to you guys on Saturday about me in a day. But the thing is today's a fibro flare day. So guess what? You're getting me in a day. This is me on a fibro flare day. I'm just doing the bare minimum. Um, Not to change the subject, but how is John doing? Never see him anymore on YouTube. John has walked away from YouTube. He has his reasons for doing it, and I fully support that. There's many times I would have walked away from YouTube if I didn't so desperately. I don't know, Angie. I'll know when I talk to Howie at 3, okay? So I'm going to phone him and find out, because if the eaves are dripping right now, then this weekend would be the weekend to tap the trees, right? I don't care. I'm taking charge now. Oh, thank you. I have been with you since you started your channel. Thank you for all you have taught me over the years. I love you. Oh, honey. Oh, I want to say I love you, but all I can call you is Bucket. But thank you so, so very much. Oh, you don't need me, Kathy. The only thing I'm doing is reminding you that we are all human, right? I'm trying to get over a bad sore throat and congestion, doing enough to get the kiddos fed and taken care of. Had postponed my oldest birthday party. Yeah, he's, I mean, you can only do so much, right? You can only do so much. I'm not going to call you holes. Hey, Abby. So you just, keep drinking fluids, keep doing the do things. Just do absolutely what you have to and no more. Does salt and sugar affect your fibromyalgia? Not so much salt and sugar as it is complex carbohydrates like cake. I have not had any more of that cake. I had one little thin piece, about that square and about that thin. And I'm not a frosting person, right? And that it's the cocoa and the, you know what I mean? I've changed our name twice. You can call Bucket List has holes. I'm going to call you Bucket. You know why? Because a bucket is a hopeful thing, isn't it? You get to fill it with dream. You can fill it with whatever you want. Dreams, hopes. Not so much meat, but then I have a tooth problem. Like, most of my steak, I chewed and chewed and chewed and chewed down to the fiber and then gave to Gracie, because I'm missing a bunch of molars, and I have this molar here. If it gets touched, like flicked or hit, always in pain. Absolutely. But I mean, you can't, that you have to let the pain run your life to a certain point, but you can't let it make you quit your life. Do you understand? So the whole thing is, I don't know how many people are new here, but the whole thing is you start the day, excuse me, I'm gonna blow my nose. You start the day with X number of a basket of eggs. You start the day with a basket of eggs, and each egg represents a certain amount of energy. Now, unloading and loading the dishwasher would take 2-3 eggs out of my basket today. Yes, tomorrow it might only take 1. But you can't go past how many eggs in your basket, because when your basket is empty, you're done. And if you push past that point, you're taking eggs from tomorrow and you're prolonging the flare. So every day, whether you're in a flare or not, budget your energy eggs. When you're done, you're done. So just dealing with Gracie in the porch, putting her out and bringing her back in while the squirrel was there. That took 3 of my eggs. I'm down to about 4 eggs left in my basket. And that's going to be unloading and loading the dishwasher and making dinner, and my eggs will be empty. So it's the spoon theory. I call it energy eggs. Yes. But you're truly such an inspiration. You always do so much, even through all your pain. Do you think you will ever raise chickens again? Well, funny thing. One of our local groups put up that, see, it used to be, I've lived here now for 16 years. It'll be 16 years next month since we bought this house. And we originally had half an acre. Now we have just a hair under an acre. And we've had goats and pigs and chickens and turkeys and rabbits and ducks and geese and guinea hens on this property. And we don't do it anymore. But we've been thinking, you know what? Maybe we can outfit the greenhouse. Make sure the rabbits can't escape, because that's where I grow where Howie grows my medication. But maybe outfit one of the cages for rabbits, for raising some rabbits to full size, babies to full size, and then raising 6 chickens. And it's funny how he said, did you see the post on, low folks? I went, I don't look at low folks, right? Every time I make a post, because I was banned once before during the pandemic, every time I make a post, it's pending that the administrator approves it. But anyway, the post was, did anyone else hear that you have to own 5 acres in order to have chickens? And I said, for cripe's sake, you can have 3 chickens in Toronto. We're in the middle of friggin' nowhere. And then I looked down the comments, and Howie said, that rule can kiss my ass. Howie, right? So I'm thinking, just out of principle, we'll be putting some chickens in the greenhouse, and maybe even some rabbits, right? Maybe even some baby rabbits. Just get them to full weight and pop them. So, because if I can raise 5 rabbits, like California whites or whatever, nice sized meat rabbits from babies, they don't take long to grow, right? And when I can them, I'll get like 8 quarts out of 5 rabbits. New Zealand's, yeah, New Zealand's. So I don't know. Anything is possible. But I'll tell you what. You tell my husband that we can't raise chickens, even though I've been saying, let's do a few chickens. Oh, yeah. And then someone says, oh, you can't raise chickens. And my husband goes, what? Says who? And I think that's all we needed to get some getting chickens this year. Oh, canned rabbit. You can it. It has a shorter canning time. You can it like you do with ugly chicken that has the bone in. It has a shorter canning time, but because of the bone in. But you cut the front end off and the back end off, and you can fill a jar with 3 pieces of that. But the whole trunk of the rabbit fits in a quart jar, and you put a piece of bacon in there, and you raw pack that and can that. Oh my God. Juicy, not dry, and tastes like turkey. Now I'm actually thinking of some way of having some kind of small coop for laying hens. I need a porch to platter lesson on rabbit, that's for sure. Can't get many more, it seems. Honey, they're all go to my channel and look up rabbit. Hang on a second. Let's just do this. Give me a minute. Because it's all I can do, right? If it's all I can do today, it's all I can do. All right, let me just tilt you here for a second so I can see my computer screen here. I'm going to search across my channel for rabbits. What? What do you mean? Oh, whew. Canning rabbit, here you go. Let me see. Oh, shoot. Where'd my chat go? Hang on. Here is Canning Rabbit. And... oh, hang on a second. Come on. Okay, obviously my fibro flare has me in some weird kind of not being able to function on my computer. And you wonder why I'm not doing a video today. Hang on a second. Here we go. Rabbit from barn to plate. I don't think I get paid for these ones anymore because it shows us, you know, doing what we do when we had rabbits. All right. There's my canning rabbit video. And from barn to plate. Hang on a second here. Pop out the chat. Make it live chat. There we go. Yeah, just watch all my videos. Because 30 bunnies in her yard. You're welcome, Waldo. Well, not everybody's been here the whole time, eh? Not everybody's been here when we were butchering goats and raising and butchering pigs and geese and ducks and turkeys and meat birds and laying hens. You know, not everybody has been here long enough to remember that. Domestic rabbit and wild rabbit pretty much taste the same. Rabbit is rabbit, except wild rabbits... mostly around here, they're like cottontail bunnies and they're small and it'd take 2 of them to make a stew. That's why you don't see me doing a video on that squirrel. Because now, if I had caught 2 of them, or 3 would be best, then I'd, you know, I'd be, their heads would be coming off and their skins would be coming off. Because I've done it. I'm pretty sure I have a video on it. Or is that on my blog too? That's on my blog. And I'd soak them overnight in buttermilk and booyah, stew or pan-fried squirrel with rice and veg. Hey, Jenna. Oh, my honey. You know what? I have all my videos are in order by year. So 2009, there's like 5 videos, and they're really choppy. 2010, 2011, you're starting to get you see me figuring out how to do this life. And then from 2012 to 2018, then you get most of our homesteading stuff. That's what my mother said about rabbit. That's what my mother said about rabbit. She saw him hanging in the butcher store window and she shuddered. She said, "No, I couldn't do it." I remember once, like this is where my brain goes, always have, right? Easter, right? We're eating, you know, we have a nice roast dinner or a ham dinner or whatever. And we eat our chocolate bunnies. And I'm looking at supper going, and I'm thinking, well, I just ate a chocolate bunny. Why don't, and I come up with a question, I think I was 10. And why don't we eat rabbit on Easter? We eat the you know, because my brain is we eat chocolate rabbits. Why aren't we eating rabbit for supper? And my brother just looked at me and said, "Good one, moron. Eat the Easter bunny. Serve up the Easter bunny." And I went, "Oh, okay. Never thought of that." Oh, I love squirrel meat. I love me some squirrel meat. But, I mean, somebody recommended I feed them. But I don't even feed the birds around here. What was that? What's the matter, Grace? Oh yeah, the squirrel's in the porch. Squirrel stew, pan fried squirrel with rice. And I remember before I had my channel, I started a blog. I think it was called My Half Acre Homestead at Blogspot, where I took pictures of me killing and cleaning chickens all by myself for the first time. Because Howie said if I could make it humane enough, or if I could do it in a way that it wasn't really brutal and terrifying for him, then now that's Howie talking. He stood 20 feet away and took pictures of me with my digital camera while I did it, so for my blog, but he wouldn't come near. And then when it was all done, he said, well, that's not so bad. I put that on my blog, and I put on me skinning and cooking squirrel. And I'm telling you, when I put that, Gracie, get down now. When I put that on my blog, the pictures and everything, people, and I put it up to Facebook, people are like, oh my God. Oh, that's even my own son. My own oldest son said, Mom, you don't know where that squirrel's been. I said, yes, I do. It's been living in my attic, living off of bird seed that I had in the porch, right? So, and I said, it's not like I'm eating its brains, right? So, like dozens and dozens of people, I can't imagine that, blah, 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 blah. And one person, and I said it was a little rubbery though. And then one person out of like 30 or 40 comments said, soak it overnight in buttermilk. And someone came back and said, I absolutely have no idea how you know that. I'm from Kentucky. I'm from Kentucky. So, oh, thank you, Lori. Mama made squirrel and rabbit like chicken with gravy and bread for sopping. Once she baked a possum. Yuck, I was squeamish. I've heard things like raccoon and stuff, but I mean, when we had our mobile home or vacation home in Arizona, in Peoria, Arizona, for 3 years, we went there like 9 times, 10 maybe out of 3 years. But the guy who looked after, God rest his soul, he passed away. The guy who looked after our property whenever anything needed doing, he had, privacy screens put on. He rubberized the roof. He did all sorts of stuff to fix stuff while we were here, right? We met him and everything. And they had us over for dinner, and he's a hunter. He was a crossbow hunter. And he had a javelina head on the wall. And I went, is that a javelina? And he said, yep. And I said, I heard, now, does anybody not know what a javelina is? A javelina is a desert wild pig. And they're mean as shit. And they are covered with, spiky hair. And they're bitter tasting meat because they live on the prickly pear cactus. They live on cactus, right? You try and hunt something that eats cactus, right? So I'm sure not going to eat anymore. I'm not into killing fluffy animals. So we soak chicken in buttermilk before frying. There you go. Groundhog once, it stank so bad no one would eat it. Oh my God. Okay, well, that answers a question for me. But anyway, I said, and Howie said, did you eat it? And he said, yes, sir, I did. And he said, good, because, we're the kind of people that, you eat what you kill, right? And I said, I heard they taste really horrible. He said, they do. He said, but there's a trick to it. He said, once it's cleaned, right, and gutted and skinned and all that stuff, he said, you throw it in a great big cooler with ice and 7-Up. I went, 7-Up? He said, 7-Up. You cover the whole thing in 7-Up until the liquid turns green. And that pulls all the prickly pear stuff out. And it tastes like pork after that, or like wild boar. That's strange meat. Eat a pig that ate dead fish. I wonder how many people ate the pork that guy had fed hookers to. Oh, oh, that was awful. What a horrible thing. So, um, actually, see, the thing is, what people don't understand is snakes that bite and poison you are venomous. They're not poisonous. Venomous means, you're in trouble if they bite you. Poisonous means you're in trouble if you eat it. You're only in trouble if you eat the poison sacs, right? So yeah, you can eat snake. John had a whole bunch of videos on that. We had snapping turtle at his place. It was delicious. I use buttermilk all the time on chicken and pork. Tastes better. Yep. My dad taught me protein is protein and you do not waste anything you kill. That's right. Except don't eat crickets. Because the stuff in that, they say, oh, high source of fiber and protein. Well, it may be a source of protein, but your body can't break that protein down because it's like eating the shells of shellfish. It just goes through you. I remember one video, John killed a rattlesnake and ate it. Yep. You have to cook. Yes, you have to cook snake. Well done. Yes, absolutely. So, yeah, this has been a really interesting discussion today. But I have to go because now it is time that I've sat here long enough that I have to go unload the dishwasher. So if you have any questions for me before I go, Dad used a water hose to blow the shell off. Only snapping turtle. Yeah. Doctor appointment time. Take care, Angela. I hope everything's good and safe and normal with you. Tummy is turning a little. Well, Sherry, I'll never forget the first time I ate rabbit. I was at my friend's house. We'd moved to Apsley, and I was at my friend's Rachel's house. And there was they put a big stuffed big rabbit. They had these big rabbits, and I saw them hanging in the garage, and they were males. I'll tell you that much. And so when we sat down to supper, they said, you're eating rabbit, eh? And I went, yeah. So, right? But it was delicious. So, have a beautiful evening. Sorry I'm back. I just watched your barn to table video. There you go. I haven't seen it in a long time. So, it's the only, thank you, BlackRock. Oh, Sheila Clark, and we're just getting ready to leave. I'm tested for fibromyalgia. I'm being tested for fibromyalgia. I think you're going to find my fibromyalgia and the bone loss and my like people are picking on me about my teeth now, and they used to be my pride and joy. And I've had only 2 cavities my whole life, but my teeth are falling out because I'm losing bone. And the thing is they're going to want to put bone in. If I go see, I'm putting it off because if I go see the dentist and they send me to the specialist, they're going to want to take bone out of my hip to put in here so that they can put implants in. And I have news for them. It'll eventually all fall apart anyway. Again, try and fit me with, dentures or partial plates or something. But I'm putting it off because the bone loss is from lead exposure in my school when I was a kid. And that's also a big portion of my fibromyalgia and arthritis. And because there's, over time it does soft tissue damage, right? So, Dean, what did Dean say? That's very true. Defrost, we live in a cryovac world today, and it's sad people don't know where their food comes from. Oh, honey, I've been educating people for a long time, or trying to. So, my son bought the grasshoppers back from Mexico, the Indonesia tribes that they had visited ate them all the time. Well, that's different. Grasshoppers and crickets are two totally different things. Grasshoppers have like an abdomen and wings and stuff, but they don't have a hard shell like crickets do, right? So, and if you got one more thing to look for on the labels if you're allergic to shellfish. Because if you're allergic to shellfish, you may be allergic to crickets. Anyway, guys, I have to go finish filling because I've only got half of the lower rack of the dishwasher unloaded, half of the crock pot full, and then I sat down, right, to talk to you guys. So take care. God bless. I love you, and thank you for your patience. It's been fibroflare after fibroflare all winter, and I don't want to think about the next one. I just want to make it through this one. All right. Take care. God bless. And hopefully I'll be able to do something tomorrow, like a day with Mrs. Wolfie, if this fibroflare is passed. I thought it was passed, but I was living on the euphoria of having FaceTime with my grandson. So I love you. Have a great day. Remember, just because I can't see you doesn't mean I can't love you.